Good evening, namaskar. A new day, a new evening, and a new personality with us. Leaders Avenue, welcome you all in our live talk show. In this series, we have planned that we will welcome people from different backgrounds who are a bit crazy, Pagalpanti, who have chosen a path which nobody wants to travel because there might be some risk which people think will be painful. But yes, leaders, they come within around us. And they are the one who are never afraid of taking pain, taking risk. And this is how history is created. We have with us a very versatile personality, an eloquent lady, and fortunately and proudly, I was a mentor to her in 2018, I remember. Please welcome CA Visha Khandelwal. And right from her school life, she started her schooling from APG school. And during her school time, she was involved in everything. She was in sports, she was in theater, she was in arts, and obviously education. And the best part, she excelled in every field. Her story reminded me of a movie of Tom Hanks, Forrest Gump. So, as he was a master in every field, even Visha, she was great in every field. But कहते हैं ना, एक time आता है when you have to decide. You have to decide, you have to take a call, and that inner call. She will be sharing what was that moment, the X factor, which pushed her to change her entire profession and career as well. And as it is rightly said, a decision you take today decides your future. I'm really happy, Visha, and feeling elated to share the screen with you.
Thank you so much, sir, for having me
Pleasure.
here.
And Visha, she passed her CA exams in 2017 November. And she also worked in a company known as KPMG or organization, which is a dream job for many youngsters. And I don't know what happened. One day, she took a detour and then she eloped. Don't take my words otherwise. She eloped with her dreams. Her desire of walking the path which nobody wants to walk. She started walking alone. And now today, she has approx 10,000 plus subscribers on her YouTube. So it's a pleasure for me and my audience to have you with us. So Visha, me and my audience are eager to know that what is your story, from finance and then travel, from the suited, booted, sophisticated culture, then walking on the dirty roads, not knowing whether you will be getting the roof to stay, nothing about the linen, is it clean or not? And then suddenly you are into vlogging as well with cameras and technology, everything. The shift from Excel to video editing. We are eager to know about your journey. So please, Visha, do share it.
Okay, sir, firstly, thank you so much for having me on this talk show. It is such a privilege. And, I was so lost in this introduction and it was so overwhelming. I'm now thinking if any other introduction, even from me, can do justice to it. But, all right, I'll try. So to begin with, to give a little bit of background, I have done my schooling from Noida, and I put up in Delhi. And all my school life, like you said, I didn't really excel in everything, but I was involved in a lot of things. Like, yes, I was good at studying, and I was into art, creativity, sports as well. But for a long time, I didn't know what was that one thing that I really wanted to be an expert in, or that one thing that I wanted to follow career-wise. When I came in class 11th, I did develop a lot of interest in the fields of accountancy and business studies and all of that. And that's when I decided to become a chartered accountant. So that's when I took the decision, and I started my CA. And in fact, I still remember it was 3rd April when my board exams had ended. And right from 4th April, my CA classes had started. So I had
Wow.
literally no break in between, and I took that decision. And once I started the CA journey, to every CA student or CAs watching this, they know that there is no looking back, and then you really don't get the time to explore anything else. And like I said, I started my CPT classes, and I opted not to go to a regular college. So I opted to do chartered accountancy full time and do the correspondence course of my BCom of graduation. So then chartered accountancy happened for the next 5 years, and I was into studying and attending an articleship, like you said, in KPMG. And gradually, while doing CA, I realized that, okay, this might not be my cup of tea, and I might have to explore other options. And I told myself that you never went to college, you never explored any other option, and you deserve this, and you deserve this at this time in life. So I decided, after completing my chartered accountancy, after about 5 years, I decided to explore every other field that I was even remotely interested in. And as crazy as it may sound, after doing CA, I even did a part-time internship in marketing, which is in complete contrast to my own field of study. But I just wanted to see if
Marketing.
my, yeah, in marketing. So I just wanted to see if my interest lies there, because I thought it did. And after trying a lot of things, I finally stumbled upon video making, specifically travel video making. So I started traveling a lot, and I started documenting that process. And it was back in December 2018 that I made my first travel video, my first travel vlog. I'm not very proud of it, but the process, I was very happy with the process, and I think that is what matters the most. And that's when I realized, okay, this is something I am enjoying a lot, and this is something I really want to explore further. And I did that. For the next 7 months, I was also doing my job and also doing YouTube and traveling and video making. So it was like one of the most hectic periods of my life, and I was juggling from one thing to another. And I did all that, but then there was this tipping point. Like you said, there was this tipping point when I realized that I need to do justice to one thing, right? Because I mean, I cannot just do so many things at one time. And that's when I decided to quit my job and to give this new developed interest a chance, a shot. So I did that back in September 2019, just last year. And unfortunately, like for everybody else, the pandemic happened and traveling stopped and all of that happened. But I still continued making videos. I still continued exploring different kind of video making, and I did that on YouTube. And I have been enjoying the process every single day since I left my job. Yes, that's about it. That's the story in brief, I guess.
So it was really, an amazing journey you have traveled. And
Thanks.
I could relate with your story because I have traveled the same journey. Way back in 2008, even I was in a fix, I was in a job. And then I decided, let my boss enjoy the job. And I took an exit. And that was the time when people close to me, they started mocking me, they started taunting me, they started commenting कि देखेंगे क्या करेगा. वो कहते हैं ना कि हमें पता है कुछ नहीं करेगा. So I hope you also must have faced the same experiences. We will discuss on this aspect. But let me tell you, when I posted about your program, I got many queries, many questions. My audience wrote me and they asked me to ask you. But before I share these questions, I have one question from my side. Quitting. Since my childhood, everybody used to say, quitting is bad, quitting is bad, quitting is bad. तू ना रुकेगा कभी, तू ना थकेगा कभी, कर शपथ, अग्निपथ, अग्निपथ. So can you please tell me, quitting, is it always bad or sometimes it is required?
Well, it depends on what context is it that, like, if I say about quitting the job, it isn't just quitting one thing. It's also about starting a totally different thing. Like in my case, I started something that was completely alien to me. You know, like how sometimes we have those talent in a particular field, and in school only we realize this is what we're good at, this is what we like doing. For me, that happened, like I told you the story, that for me that happened very late in my journey. And quitting one thing that is very comfortable and that is very known to follow something that is very alienated, I think that is not quitting. That is just embarking on a new journey. So for me, like, it was a new beginning. So it wasn't really giving up on anything.
In financial terms, we could say it is like capital budgeting,
Yes,
where you search for the options, which is good or bad. Okay, so it
right.
means quitting is not bad always. So now
Yes.
the rapid fire starts. The first
Okay.
question:
Okay, that makes me nervous.
money or passion?
Okay, do you have to choose one or do you have to like answer
I
in a
don't know,
line?
it's your call. You can choose both. And who don't like money?
Yeah, exactly. So I think for survival, money, but for living your life fully, passion, I mean, it's like the difference between existing and living, right? I mean, just having one in your life is not enough. It has to be both. It's like it might be a very diplomatic answer, but it has to be done in, they have to be together, money and passion, because if we only follow our passion and if we don't think about the financial aspects, then we can land ourselves in a problem. And I think this pandemic also taught us that
But
how
before you
important is.
proceed, I'd like to interfere. I'm so sorry. Again, I'm confused. 2019, you were enjoying the dream job, and obviously your bank balances were increasing. A lot of zeros had been added. But the moment you chose to quit, you forgone the right of enjoying that money. So how can you say money like you like money?
No, so I'll tell you how. So I always believe like whenever you're taking such a decision where your financial respect, in financial respect things are going to change so much. I always say that planning is very, very important. And like I told you, very early in my CA journey, I had realized that this might not be for me. So very early on, I started saving up. And to be very honest, I've always been a person who has one has believed in a lot of saving, and two hasn't had, like I wasn't a lot into going to parties or it's hard to believe, but during my entire CA trip, I did not even CA journey, not trip. I did not even go for a single trip. So my
So you
expenses,
didn't enjoy TGIF?
not really. No, I was not into all that. And honestly, I knew that the day when I will have to quit my job will come for sure. I was certain about it. And because I was certain about it, I gave up on a few things while I was doing CA to be able to afford that kind of living even afterwards. So in my case, I would say that the planning was such that even after quitting, I did have, that amount to sustain myself even if I was traveling. And I always tell this to people that planning in terms of emotional planning, financial planning, all those kinds of planning is very, very important, so that you have a little bit of peace of mind when you're following your dream as well. So yes, absolutely, there was money when I was in my job, but ultimately when you have that but you aren't really happy with the lifestyle, uh, I don't think it makes that much sense. So, and I think that everybody has their own sources of joy. So for me, it wasn't something that was derived from a lot of money. So yes.
So first lesson which I learned is we should do the financial planning, individual financial planning. And then the day we realized that we have crossed the BEP, break even point, and we have a
Yes,
good amount with us, then we can certainly think about pursuing our passions, but
absolutely.
that too in a planned manner. Good.
Yes.
Second question, and very tricky question. And we don't have the coffee right now, so I cannot say that coffee with Govind. But yes, this question is really caffeinated. The question is sophistication or pagalpanti?
Oh, this is easy. Pagalpanti for me any day.
Like, do you remember the craziest thing or stuff you have done in your life? पागलपंती की इंतहा कभी करी है?
Well, intentionally, there have been very few, but unintentionally, what comes on top of my mind is just having a very, very life threatening night trek experience. So, there was this trek. We did a trek to Khir Ganga, and the situation was a little unfortunate. It wasn't obviously deliberate, but we were kind of stuck in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of night, and it was a situation that gave us a lot of life learnings that there's just one life and all of that. And I started making list of things in my head that I wanted to tell my friends, okay, just go and do all that, and just in case something happens. So I think that one incident was like one of the most craziest, although that wasn't really deliberate. And yeah, I mean, only while traveling pushes you through such crazy incidents, but you end up learning so much from them.
Even I remember one incident in my life. It was 1998. I was a cadet in National Cadet Corps (NCC), and I was attending a basic leadership pre-camp. So there was a task of night march. We are a bunch of around 8, 9 boys. So we are given a blanket, a matchstick, a candle, a map, and a defense compass. And then we're given the coordinates, the longitude and the latitude. And finally, the army people, they dropped us near a mountain, and they told that you have 6 hours to reach the final destination. And that time I didn't know a movie will be coming by the name Final Destination. But that day I realized it was my final destination. So we, Pagal boys with Pagal Panti, started the trek. So we coordinated the coordinates, and finally the night march started. We were excited on a face, but fearful deep inside. So someone miscalculated the coordinates, and we landed near a place where we could see a lot of lights. So we're excited. Wow, we are coming to a village. When we reached that place, I tell you, it was so terrible. We're so frightened. We were in the mid of a graveyard,
Oh.
and it was 3 a.m. in the morning. वो कहते हैं ना, ये वो टाइम है जब उसका नाम नहीं लेते. Everybody was like thinking and doing the last prayers. भगवान आज बचा लो, वो नहीं करूंगा. So सारे पाप हमने गिन लिए, क्या क्या नहीं करने हैं. Finally, we recalculated the coordinates, and we reached the destination, but we were late by 1 hour. And I tell you, that was such a frightening night, but yes, enjoyable. पागलपंती बहुत करी थी, मजा भी आया था, but हालत भी खराब हुई थी. तो we are on the same track.
Right.
Now the next question, which I believe most of my audience are thinking, and the question is, why vlogging? Why not a job? Job is secured.
Right. So, honestly, like I said, when I left my job, it was to explore this other side, this other interest that I had developed. So, it's not about vlogging or something specific. It's about just following what you love doing. At the same time, following something in which you're able to add a lot of value to other people's lives as well. So it's like a mix of a lot of things. You should love doing it, and you can make it your career, and you should be able to add value. That being said, I believe that there are both pros and cons of being in a job and being self-employed. And not everybody is made for a job, not everybody is made for being self-employed. And when I say that, I mean that like I have a lot of friends who are into a 9 to 5 job, and they're extremely happy with their routine, with that structured life, and they don't want to have it any other way. They like, and at the same time, they're providing a lot of value to other people's life, be it their colleagues or their family or just people around them, and that is perfect. So I believe that there is no, it shouldn't be a choice between a job or self-employed. It should just be a choice of what you really want to do, where you see yourself, and what you see your lifestyle as. Like being self-employed, of course, there is no routine. There are a lot of other challenges involved, and the journey gets really lonely in the beginning. And when you're in a job, you're working with so many people, you're used to having chai breaks and coffee breaks. And when I first left my job, I think this was the biggest hurdle I faced, that I wasn't used to working alone. I wanted people around me to just have breaks with. So I think both these aspects have their pros and cons, and I think you should just know that what you really want to do. So it wasn't really about blogging or job. It was about something that I love doing, something that I can provide value in. So yes, that's how I chose.
Good. Next question. Be ready for that. Challenges. कोई भी आप काम करिए तो आई बिलीव कि बिना challenges के पूरा होता नहीं है. We are human.
Yes.
If you are going towards an opportunity, definitely, before reaching that opportunity, we have to cross the hurdles. And these are called the challenges. Can you please share some challenges you faced while shifting your career?
Right. So, like I said, the number one challenge was the shift in work culture, like how you have to start, like in a job, there is a difference between your professional life and your personal life. Like when you're quitting, like not quitting, I'm sorry, when you're leaving your workplace, then you're leaving your work as well. But when you're working for yourself, the difference, that creating that difference becomes very, very, difficult, because this is the room, wherever I sit and work, that's the room where I live, that's the room where I work, pretty much everything. So having that difference is very difficult. Not letting yourself get distracted is very difficult, and just taking all the decisions alone also is very difficult, because like 5 years I was associated with an organization. I wasn't really used to making all the decisions and big decisions. And now when it comes to this, those decisions don't really just impact your career, but even your life. So making those decisions, having that wisdom, staying motivated, working alone. And yes, there have been a lot of times when you do feel anxious. I mean, I always say this, that people feel that quitting your job to follow your passion, it is something that sounds very fancy. But there is a lot that first goes behind it. And in the beginning, just to get used to that culture, it takes a lot of time. But thankfully, on the upside, I do have people, I do have my family, my friends who are really supportive of all this. And, I can really look up to them and ask for their support in all these matters. So yes, those were some of the challenges.
The next question might create a conflict in your personal and professional life. Are you ready for that? Sure.
Yeah.
So while traveling, which is more enjoyable, traveling with friends or traveling with family?
Okay, if I'm being very honest, anybody who understands that this is also my work now. So, I mean, I'm talking about traveling in terms of the traveling that I do now, because the traveling that I used to do before when I wasn't making videos and that I do now is very different. And now when I travel, I don't always have the time to spend with the people I'm traveling with. And that's why I do become picky, and I do even inform people in advance that, here, listen, this is my work and I'm going to get really busy there. And, I might not have time for you and I might just be recording. So anybody who really understands that, I think that is the most enjoyable experience for me, because yeah, I mean, that's very important, because when you travel and you're also making videos, it's just a lot to handle at once. So
अच्छा, is vlogging actually a career or just a time pass or a myth?
Of course, it's a career option. In fact, it's a very nice budding career option that a lot of people are now taking up. In fact, I recently conducted some workshops as well, wherein I was sharing all my learnings, all my blogging learnings with budding content creators. And there I got a chance to interact on Zoom call and interact with a lot of them. And I understood where they were coming from, and they wanted to try it. Some even with their job, and some were doing it full time. And now that so many people have the time with them, yes, it definitely is having a personal brand, blogging, and all of the content creation. I think it's becoming, in today's date and age, it's something that is really really thriving. And with social media and just the kind of growth that this is happening, it's definitely a career option, not a myth, and good time pass for sure.
Okay,
I mean,
great. So,
some people do it as
so
a side. Yeah, some people just do it out of their creative freedom. That's their choice, but it can always be converted into a career option, is what I mean.
great. So we could say that lot many people can join this career option.
Oh, yes, totally.
Good. Okay, the next question, even I have faced, and you might be facing, and it would have been really difficult to justify it or to convince someone, because the next question is, don't you think you have done injustice to your degree by shifting the career?
I think that I absolutely have done justice to it because one, having a CA degree gave me the confidence to take this step, to be very honest. And not just that, it actually helped me convince my parents as well. Because parents always love to listen your backup options. कि अगर ये नहीं चला तो ये तो है वापस जाने के लिए तो ठीक है ट्राई करके देख लेते हैं. And I always used to tell them that I have this CA degree to fall back on, and not just them, like tell myself as well. So it did give me a lot of confidence and that peace of mind that I needed to follow this new path. And even during lockdown when traveling stopped, I had this peace of mind thinking, ki koi baat nahi, I still have my CA degree with me. I can fall back on that. So yes, definitely. And not just that, like I feel like the skills that I have developed in the CA journey, it's not just that degree that I have obtained, right? It was a journey, and it was a journey of 5 years, and there was so many skills that I have acquired, be it dealing with professionals, or be it just communicating with them, or negotiation, or all of those skills, and financial expertise. So I do apply all of these skills in this vlogging journey as well. Let's say when I'm talking to brands, or when I'm doing my own financial planning, or when I'm just planning my videos, structuring, time management. In fact, CA studies have taught me time management like nothing else could ever do, in my opinion. So that time management and all of that. So yes, I don't know about the degree, but I've definitely done justice to all that I've learned,
I
by acquiring that degree.
totally vouch your thoughts, because again, I've experienced the same. Even I told my parents the same line कि मेरी डिग्री है ना, कभी भी मैं इसको यूज कर सकता हूँ. And seriously, because of the degree, even I have learned numerous skills. And when I was shifting to public speaking, I also faced the same turbulence. But yes, वो कहते हैं कि अंत भला तो सब भला. All is well that ends well. Now, a question which is a bit insightful. Okay, so समझ के जवाब देना. Have you ever regretted your decision of opting vlogging as career?
Absolutely not. Not even a single day. Like, I mean, and I'm so sure of this answer because I can say that there were times when I was anxious. I wouldn't lie. There were times when I was feeling very low about it. I was having self doubt. I thought I wasn't good enough. All of that was there. But never did I think that my decision was wrong because I mean, I knew I did not take that decision in a day. I had proper thoughts in place, I had a plan in place, and that's why I took the decision. So I never regretted it, but at the same time, yes, I did have my low points, and I think that those are very important also, because only they push you to other zones, and where you can really put yourself out of comfort zone and do things. So
Great. Now, you could see in the comment section, an audience of ours, a friend of ours, Suman Bhagat, has asked you a question. So, any tips for my friend Suman?
Tips regarding what?
So, he's asking for, ma'am, what are your tips, ideas, and thoughts for subscriber? Again, it's a professional advice.
I'm still not sure tips about what. Is it like tips about following your
He's
passion?
asking for, no, he's asking for how to gain subscribers.
Oh, okay. Now that is something that will take an entire day for me to explain. There are so many. In fact, to this, I would like to say that I do have a video on my channel, and my channel goes by my name, Visha Khandelwal, and I do have a video on that where I have explained that in a span of I think 10 minutes or something. So there are just too many things to take in mind. But I think one thing, if I have to say here, is provide value and be yourself. Those two things never go wrong.
And one thing I also would like to add, and that is called always have a qualitative content and
Yes,
never compromise with the quality of your content. You know, there might
correct.
be time you think that कुछ इधर उधर की बातें करके हम लोग subscribers gain कर सकते हैं, but that is not for a long term,
Right.
and we should always believe and focus on the long term perspective. Okay, good. So the next question: while shifting your career, was everything goody goody, or you faced rejections or rebellion or resistance from people around you?
Yes, I definitely did. So to start off with, of course, my family, my parents, I had to do a lot of convincing, which I did thanks to my CA degree, which I was able to do. So, it's very easy to say that don't think what others are saying and, it shouldn't matter you and all of that. It sounds good and it's easy to say. But when you are in that zone, when you have just taken a decision, there are times when what people say might pinch you, you might not feel it, but it might do. Ultimately, with time, you do develop that thought process that okay, it doesn't matter. But of course, in the beginning, it does a little bit, and mostly by people who are close to you or who matter, like your family. Your family might be convinced at one instance, but it's not just convincing them that at one point when you're quitting, it's an ongoing process. You have to do it multiple times, and for that, I something that I always I suggest is to keep them involved in your process. Your family, your friends, just keep them involved in the process. Tell them about your progress. Tell them about your shortcomings, your obstacles. Just keep them involved in the loop so they know what you're doing and they are aware of all that. So yes, all that was there. And apart from family, even colleagues, even just people around you, like the society, what we call, and not everybody will be supportive of it. But the bottom line is that not everybody has to live your life. It is you who has to live the life. So it should be your decision ultimately. So yes, that was it. Although thankfully, I was very privileged to have a great team in my office when I was working, and my team and my boss, they were very supportive of this decision, and they were very supportive in general, of all this. And it was a great team to work with. So yeah, that ways I was lucky.
And like one of our audience has asked, Megha Goyal has asked her, कोई story share करो please. तो स्टोरी भी शेयर करूंगा, और जो क्वेश्चन मैंने पूछा है विषय से, उससे रिलेट करके जस्ट कुछ शेयर करना चाहता हूँ. I started my career as a speaker way back in 2009, and even I faced resistance, but I was resilient. It took me approx 10 years to get a compliment from my father. So in 2018, I was on the stage, and the Honorable Minister CA Piyush Goyal was the chief guest. And I was handling the entire stage. I was the MC over there. And my father was in the audience. That day, he heard me first time live. I was speaking in different languages, including Sanskrit. And when that program was over, my father just told, अच्छा बोलते हो. And I tell you, ये तीन शब्द, they were the best compliments of my entire life, because it was from his heart. And again, he never asked me to quit my public speaking thing. Thank God you have also a supportive family, and even you, as you said, from your professional world as well, they were all supportive. But yes, we all face resistance. And what I learned, and Visha has also learned, that we should not do something to justify someone or to prove someone. We should do it for ourselves. And as it is said, कि उगते हुए सूरज को लोग सलाम करते हैं, लेकिन हाँ, हमें उस सलामी के लिए काम नहीं करना चाहिए। काम करना चाहिए क्योंकि काम करना है हमें, क्योंकि हमें मजा आ रहा है। Okay, now, some days ago, Visha, I saw your post. You are enjoying, you were celebrating, and that moment was that you got 10,000 subscribers. But what I know, YouTube gives you recognition only on 1 lakh subscribers. But you enjoyed that moment. Even I saw your family, your friends, they celebrated. So why 10,000 subscribers and still you enjoyed it, celebrated it? Why on this tiny moment?
You actually gave the answer to this question yourself by saying that YouTube doesn't recognize you when you do that. So somebody needs to, and that has to be you, because especially when you are doing something for yourself, then you won't find a lot of people. I mean, if you don't recognize your own work, if you don't appreciate yourself, who will? So keeping that in mind, on YouTube, achieving 1,000 subscribers is a very important milestone, and I couldn't celebrate that because at that time I was traveling and I was very busy, and I did not celebrate that. And that I realized, and then gradually I realized how much I missed that, because a lot of people do this mistake that they think that हम यहाँ तक पहुँच जाएंगे तभी हम खुश हो पाएंगे या हम ये achieve कर लेंगे तभी हम celebrate करेंगे. But what they forget is that the process matters more than that destination. And if you don't make that process, beautiful for yourself, then how are you going to even be happy about that big achievement? So to be able to be happy कि यार जब maybe 100K होगा, जब YouTube celebrate करेगा, I will always look back to my 10K moment, definitely, because it was a part of that journey that led me to 100K. So and thankfully, like some of my friends also, they sent such amazing gifts, and one of my friends actually gave me a play button. So since YouTube doesn't give you one, he actually got some green play button made for me, so that I still have it like in front of my eyes, and I am so happy with it. Like I will always remember my 10K moment with that. I feel that these little moments, ये छोटी छोटी खुशियाँ जिनकी हम बात करते हैं, ये सेलिब्रेट करना बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है अपनी स्टोरी, अपने प्रोसेस, अपनी पूरी जर्नी को मेमोरेबल बनाने के लिए.
वो किसने सही कहा है ना, आने वाला पल जाने वाला है, हो सके तो इसमें जिंदगी बिता लो, पल जो ये जाने वाला है. So we should enjoy these moments. And लोग शुरुआत से कहते हैं कि have a wide vision, look at the bigger picture. But what I learned, we should start working and enjoying the micro moments. And Leaders Avenue also, some weeks ago, we started a YouTube series named Micro Learning. Me and Sunil Keshwani sir, we started that series because we believe when you start learning from micro levels, then you learn that enjoyment and happiness are in these micro moments. And these micro moments create memories. और फिर कभी मेरे दिल में ख्याल आता है कि वो पल कितना खूबसूरत था. Now we are coming.
Now that you mentioned, sir, I just saw some message by Sunil Keshwani sir, and I would just like to say him hello and thank you for having me here again, to even Sunil sir. And I still remember when Sunil sir had come to take a GMCS class, how he had, we were talking about this exact thing about celebrating our moments. He had given us a task in that GMCS class to write a few things and then on the side write some feelings associated with it. And I mean, the bottom line and the learning was somewhat similar. It just reminded me when you named him, and we were sharing this key, share those feelings and enjoy those little moments.
So he's also my mentor. I have learned numerous lessons from him. And
Right.
he's the one who told me that we should focus on the microparts, because these microparts, when they're combined, they create the macro thing. Okay, so we are coming near to the end of today's program. It's been 40 minutes now. And the last and final thing, Visha, you are visionary, you are energetic, you are enthusiastic, and you, some years ago, calculated your beta factor and analyzed that it is too high. And that is how you took the risk. And now you're enjoying your risk taking capacity. So, any final message to our audience?
I think I would like to share one learning, which was like one of the most important learning for me last year. And it can be summed up very briefly. And it just says, done is better than perfect. So I see a lot of people like, I have been almost a perfectionist my entire life. And even in like small things like a holiday homework, if something went wrong, I would just redo the entire page. And I have been that perfectionist, and growing up now, it is now that I realize that no, just do it, just start doing it and completing it, and done is better than perfect. It's important to focus on quality, definitely, but again, something that is very important is to just start. A lot of people don't realize this, and starting your journey is one of the most difficult yet one of the most important steps you can take. So if you are in crossroads, if you want to start a side hustle, if you want to, and if something is, if you're not able to get that perfect video, let's say, or a perfect artwork or a perfect dish or something, just don't wait for that perfect. Just start, and you will learn on the go, and you will learn on the way. To give my example, my first video on YouTube was actually in the portrait format, and YouTube follows a landscape format, so it couldn't be any more imperfect. And I have obviously had a big learning curve since then, and I'm very proud of that learning curve. So to be able to see your learning curve, you need to start imperfect only. So I think that's my message.
And I believe that perfection is a myth. Every day you learn, and when you are learning, how can you be perfect?
Right.
Okay,
And it
so
won't be enjoyable also.
obviously, and because we both are travelers, we are called Gochi Gumakad, and obviously you are Visha Khandelwal. We both know, if you want to enjoy the travel, the first thing is we have to take the first step. और घर पे बैठ के आप इन चीजों को एंजॉय नहीं कर पाएंगे कि सोचेंगे मुझे जाना है, फिर सोचते रह जाएंगे.
Right.
अच्छा, last from my side, from my no, a question from my heart. Do you follow spontaneous travel or planned travels, or do you like or love spontaneous or planned travel?
To be very honest, I am a planning freak. And even when it comes to travel, I mostly do plan travel. I do have a basic plan in place to give myself a peace of mind. And when I call it my work, there has to be a plan in place. But when I go there, then I become spontaneous that I know I have to visit this place. But then when I visit that place, then I'm not rigid that, okay, this is what I want, or these are the shots that I want to take. Then I'm very spontaneous कि ठीक है, फिर जो मन आएगा वो करेंगे, जिनसे मिलना है. And I believe a lot in having conversations. So whenever I travel, I focus, even in my videos, you can see, I focus a lot on having conversations with people and understanding people of other regions. So for me, it's about यहाँ जाना है, यहाँ के लोगों से मिलना है, उनसे बात करनी है, ये देखना है, आना है, ठीक है, मतलब एक basic plan in place. So yeah,
Good.
more planned.
And it
How
was
about
really,
you?
yes, ma'am.
How about you? What do you prefer?
Spontaneous. But
Spontaneous.
yes, I carry the stuff with me in a planned way. I never leave for traveling without cameras, without my backpacks, a bit of medicines. So again,
Right.
they are part of planning. But yes, the places we choose are spontaneous.
Okay.
So it was really wonderful interacting with you. We had a
Same.
good chit chat session, and in the last 6 months, many of us have missed these type of conversations. Thank you very much, Visha, for sharing your experiences of your professional life, your personal life, and obviously the new profession, vlogging. And I would like to see you having a lot of zeros in your subscriber base. My best wishes are always with you. And again, I'm saying I'm proud that I was a mentor to you. And
Yes,
yes,
sir.
how can I forget last year when we both traveled the
Together,
Fen
right?
Social travel in Tirthan Valley. It was
Right.
so amazing, nicely planned, and I know lot many people from your friend circle, they made it a successful journey, and it was the best moments of my life because I got the opportunity on 23rd June last year to celebrate my wife's birthday with you
Right.
guys. It was amazing. Thank you very much, everyone.
Right. So it was
So
beautiful. And thank you so much for having me and for giving me this opportunity to be able to share my story. So thank
thank you.
you. Thank you.
So we'll meet again soon, and
Yes.
Leaders Avenue will be inviting lot many people from diverse backgrounds who have achieved something on their own. They are the people who know how to start from zero and how to reach 100. Even if they fall down from 100, they know how to start again, and they are the actual leaders of Leaders Avenue. Thank you very much. We'll meet soon next week with a new personality. And goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, Visha, for such a wonderful program.
Thank you,
Bye
sir.
bye.
Thank
Take care.
you.
Stay
Bye.
connected.
Take care.